And I think, as you'll see throughout this talk, like I heard somebody say this at work today. I'm a bird that likes to chirp. I'm a talker. So sometimes it's to the detriment of the student that they have to listen to me kind of ramble on. But I really am big on that. I'm going to tell you why I want you to do these strategies and why I know they work. I give a lot of anecdotal evidence. I like to tell stories, success stories from other students. I have some funny stories, like the time I was accused of witchcraft. I like to...
Hold on. Stick a pin.
You gotta write that one down somewhere.
No, we're not writing that one down. We're getting this one out right now.
All right.
We're getting this
one out. This is one of my favorite stories. Okay. So I met with a
Everybody
student.
Settle in. Everybody
get a drink. Get your drink for
story.
This one.
So what had happened was, So I met with a student named Haley. She was a paramedic student. Haley came to see me and was bawling, bawling her eyes out, because the paramedic program, you need to get 90s or higher to be accepted. It's quite a competitive program. So she thought she was smart, right? So she came to see me crying because she had just finished her first round of testing and she had failed everything and failed miserably. So she thought that she wasn't going to be able to continue in the program. So she came to me. I met with her 3 or 4 times, and then I never saw her again. So fast forward, we're nearing the end of the semester now. Again, I'm walking down the hallway on campus, and I run into the coordinator of the paramedic program. Now, I'd never met him in person before, just via email. So I just took the opportunity to introduce myself. I was like, "Hey, Dave, I'm Joanne. I'm the learning strategist here on campus." And he stops, and he's like, "You're the one who does witchcraft with my student." I was like, "Whoa, what are you talking about?" He said, "We had this one student and she, started off really weak. She was failing all her courses. And then all of a sudden her grades went up so quickly and so significantly that we booked a meeting with her because we thought she was cheating. They were certain she was cheating. And when they met with her, she said, "Oh no, I just met with the learning science." So he's like, "Tell me, what kind of rocket science are you doing with these students to make the grades?" I think her grades went up by 40%, which is very significant. Yeah. So when I thought about it, and I tell this story in my workshops all the time because it was really about her self-care. She was a hot mess. She was averaging 3 to 4 hours sleep per night. She was living on Tim Hortons, ice caps, bagels, donuts. And she was not exercising, super stressed out and anxious. So once I taught her the strategies and she implemented them, because I emailed her after that, I thought it was hilarious. She told me, she said, "Honestly, Joanne, I feel like a different person." I had no idea, because when students get stressed, they focus outward, right? They neglect what's going on inward. So once someone teaches them that, hey, if you just get 8 hours sleep, then you can actually listen and remember the content. If you eat healthy, it gives you the energy you need to focus. If you exercise, you have that outlet. And there's tons of research on how it impacts your memory and your ability to focus and concentrate. So, and then, I taught her the study strategies too, but she was great. She was intrinsically motivated to succeed, implemented the strategies, and she's out there saving lives.
Awesome.
Yeah. So it's a great story.
Awesome. I'm actually doing a book club right now.
Oh, nice.
And the book that we're doing is called Sleep Smarter.
Oh, yeah. Sean Stevenson. I'm reading Eat Smarter.
What's that again?
I'm reading Eat Smarter. He wrote a second book called Eat Smarter. I'm reading that right now.
So we're doing Sleep Smarter. So everything you're saying is just bringing me back to our last Sunday's conversation.
Yeah.
And it's funny, after we finished the book club, we were heading, Carla and I were heading to Pickering, and we're on the highway, and there was a sign that says, "If you're tired, you're impaired."
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. It's significant. And I think the stats are incredible. Like, I think 2/3 of Canadian teenagers are getting hours less sleep than they need. And they don't realize, because of course they're on their phones, they're scrolling all night. They've tried to push back the start times for the school day, but it's not enough, because teenagers, like, it's still such a crucial developmental time for their brains, and they just don't understand that it's impacting their mood and their ability to consolidate. It's almost like your brain's a giant filing cabinet. When you're sleeping, it's continuing to process the information you've learned and store it in such a way that you can access it when you need it. So you may be going to class and you may even be engaged in listening, probably not. But if you're not sleeping, it's really hard for your brain to remember that content. So I'm huge on sleep, and I teach a lot of the principles from Sleep Smarter when I'm teaching about sleep hygiene. And it makes a huge, huge difference. And not just students, I think many of us as adults too are probably sleep deprived. And you know, one thing, I got to share this science. One thing that usually gets students to say, oh, is that a lot of people don't realize that chronic like sleep deprivation over years and decades is actually a risk factor for dementia because of the increase in plaques and toxins. Like when we sleep, our brain cells actually shrink by up to 200%. And then we get this wash of cerebral spinal fluid that comes in and washes it away. I call it brain poop when I'm talking to little kids. It's like waste, right? So the brain poop gets washed out and down to our liver to be detoxified out of our system. So when you're depriving yourself, even 1 hour of sleep deprivation, but times a week, a month, a year, several years, you get a buildup of those plaques and toxins of that brain poop. And that puts you at increased risk for dementia when you're older. So when students hear that, they're like, I don't want brain poop in my brain, right? So I'm like, yeah, you got to get your sleep. It really makes a huge difference for short term. You feel less foggy, groggy. You can pay attention, you can focus. And for long term, for the overall health of your brain.
Oh, well, things you learn. I figured I'd learn a thing or two on this episode. I
can't help it. I can't help it.
No, this is dope. Really quick, everybody, once again, episode 106. What am I supposed to say, Fitz? They could be anywhere in the world, but they're here with us.